As long as we're alive, things are always happening to us, through us, and around us. There is no escaping the continual fluctuation of reality. As humans, we have a tendency to take these fluctuations personally. We interpret them and make them our own. On the positive side of things, this allows or compels us to care deeply about everything that happens. We feel an intensity of phenomena as the world becomes some amount ours in each of our heads. Through this personalization and ownership of reality, we form the stories about our lives as well as our expectations and hopes for them. The problem, however, is we are very bad at overlaying our narratives and expectations onto reality. We are, in fact, terrible at understanding the implications of events and predicting their outcomes. As the author Kurt Vonnegut said, and I'm paraphrasing here, the truth is we know so little about life, we don't know what the good news is or what the bad news is. Vonnegut interestingly found this phenomenon, humanity's tendency to try to form clean narratives and assessments out of apparent chaos, as being representative in the common story archetypes throughout history. There's a certain consistency amongst patterns and shapes in which most stories have and continue to adhere. For example, the story format he referred to as man and whole follows a structure where something bad happens to the main character at the beginning, but not to worry. By the end of the story, the main character gets out of the situation and they ultimately find themselves in a better off situation than when they started. Happily ever after. This is just one example. Vonnegut identified, I think, something around 8 consistent story structures or shapes across culture and history. The vast majority of which, interestingly, end with the main character landing in good or better fortune than they began. Of course, not only is this narrative structure a kind of fictional cope toward things always working themselves out positively, but it also assumes that the main character's story ends when the story itself ends. That is, the life of the character and the effects and outcomes of the events of the story would cease upon the conclusion of the small fraction of their theoretical life within the story. But of course, if the character is theoretically still alive, which most good endings involve, then there are more shapes of more stories to experience, more good and bad luck. Sometimes bad things are just bad things, and good things are just good things. Sometimes they are final. But life is not comprised of single stories, let alone clean ending stories. Whether life is going well, poorly, or somewhere in between, its current state is a product of the events of the past, all the events. That includes all the good and all the bad. Put differently, all the seemingly bad moments you've experienced have been some amount integral to the good moments you've experienced, and vice versa. And we can never know for sure what would happen if, for example, a moment you suffered, or perhaps a moment you are suffering right now, were removed from the equation for you. The author Cormac McCarthy wrote, "You can never know what your worst luck, your bad luck has saved you from." Several years ago, I wrote a story called The Nova Effect. In it, I described a sequence of events in which a young man loses his dog Nova. Objectively, this is a terrible event. But then a woman finds his dog, and the man and the woman hit it off. They begin dating and fall in love. A great event. While going to pick up his now girlfriend one night, the man gets in a bad car accident and is severely injured. Obviously a terrible event. At the hospital, however, solely because of the accident, It's discovered that he has a glioma in his brain. Because it was caught early enough, because he went to the hospital, because of the accident, because he was dating the woman, because he met her because he lost his dog Nova, the tumor is able to be removed, and the man is able to continue living. A life-saving event. Here it's plain and exaggerated for the story, but the point remains. We don't know what our bad luck saves us from, and we don't know what our good luck inflicts us with. And we don't know when the story will actually be over. For us, for anything. But only when the story is over can we ever know whether anything is good or bad. And yet, only then, there is no one left to know anything at all.